relationship is not easy, but there are some ways to make it a little bit easier. Here to give us some advice on how to break up like an adult, we welcome back the author of The Art of Feminine Seduction, dating expert Alana McKenzie Page. It is so great to see you.
So good to see you too, Hannah.
This is a tough topic that a lot of people are experiencing. Breaking up like an adult, what should it look like, and what are some things we're missing when people are going through this experience?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. People are breaking up more and more. I mean, we know about the divorce rates, but as well, in terms of just dating relationships, it's really becoming obvious that this is a skill that you need to have in order to have effective relationships, is to end them well as well. And the most important thing to do, I would say, is to remain self-focused when you speak about this. So the process I teach usually is kind of like, first think about yourself, first notice yourself, and really decide why you're breaking up, for example, and really notice what the reasons are for yourself, and then move into the communication phase. And when you communicate it, really keeping the focus on yourself. And you can say what's not working for you. Obviously, that's going to be part of it. But rather than kind of reactively hurling, excuses, you did this and that kind of thing, you really want to keep it very clean in terms of your language. And, I don't think we're compatible for the future that I want, for example, or this need of mine is not getting met, and therefore I need to look out for myself in this life.
That's a good way to put it, because you want to communicate certain things that aren't working, but you don't just want to hurl blame over and over and make it completely someone else's fault. You've got to own your own part of the relationship too.
Exactly.
So what about when it's actually the right time? How do you know, okay, this should end versus this is just a rough patch and we're working something out?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And it unfortunately has to be, you have to decide for yourself. Like, it's very a self decision. But I tend to think it's when you no longer feel that you can make progress, like that you're really not being heard by the other person, or else that you're not interested in continuing to do the work. There's this kind of point that you can get to where you're like, this is actually not something that I feel willing to do the work around.
Yeah, it's a big investment of your time and energy. Okay, breaking up over text, are people doing this in like serious relationship contexts?
It has been known to happen. Yes, it has been known to happen. I don't recommend that as a relational habit. I think that's not very good. People do break up over text in the early stages of dating. I often think that's okay. There's sort of less, especially when people are meeting online and there's not really a deep connection yet. It's kind of like a text is an acceptable no thank you kind of a message.
That's a good way to put it.
Yes. However, when you have established a relationship, when you have agreed to a certain kind of commitment, I think it's really important to have the conversation, as face-to-face as possible.
Yeah, as possible, right? Every situation is different. Okay, so what about, we touched on this earlier, making sure that you can express your reasons for the breakup without becoming overly critical. Is that kind of the focus on self aspect of it?
Yeah, that can do so much. Including for disagreements and conflict in a relationship, is really just keeping that self-focus and expressing yourself and using lots of I language instead of the you do this and you never do that, and this is why it's a problem. Just really maintaining that, here's what's going on for me and here's why this isn't working for me, and what I need is now to not be in this.
So then what about if you are in a deeply committed relationship and maybe you share a home, maybe there are children involved? What are some other things to think about when hoping for a healthy breakup?
Yeah, that becomes more complicated, right? Like, once you have, especially a legal situation, children that are going to need an agreement, any kind of asset division, that's beyond my scope of expertise. But, what I would recommend just from a relational point is to take it really slow and to be very thoughtful about things, getting the right experts in there in terms of the legal expertise, and maybe seeing a counselor or something like that to really help you come to an understanding, especially when you don't feel like understanding each other
Right.
anymore, because that can be really very challenging. But if you can get some support, or again, you can try to use that self language, but that can be pretty difficult when you really have to, you have to work out these tough.
It is so hard.
Decisions.
Okay, so
together.
here's one I think a lot of us experience, often maybe in friendship. So how do you stop yourself from going back to a bad relationship, even though you know that you shouldn't, right?
Ooh, that one's juicy.
Yeah.
I think the first thing to ask yourself is, why are you going back? Why are you going back? Because there's something that you're going back for.
Right.
So once you can kind of realize, what is it that I'm still missing in my own life that I feel like I need to go over there to get. And sometimes it is a really powerful connection, like, this is the thing about being human, is like connecting with people is a very profound experience that we have. And it can be a lot. And yet, if that person is not if your relationship is not what you want it to be, it can be very harmful to you and the other person also, to just continue to, spin your wheels in the relationship that you've ended before, and then you keep, you kind of get this seesaw dynamic going.
Yeah, just taking stock of what it is that you're seeking is a great place to start.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Helpful stuff. We're going to do it better in 2026. We'll break up like adults. Thanks, Alana. Okay, the book again is The Art of Feminine Seduction. We will have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.